everybody, it's Erin Reed from Erin Reed Makes, and welcome to Card Making Wednesdays. Today I have a fun fold card that is super easy to make and is so easy that you're going to want to make a ton of these. We're going to do a little bit of a retro card with an 80s vibe. So I've made a card kit, and also we're going to be using a die from Maker's Movement to give us this fun fold card with a square element on top. So let's get started. So these are our fun fold cards. So there's the square element on top, and I'm going to show you how to do it in two different sizes. It is so easy. Hey, Wendy, to make these. So you flip open like this, and all of the papers, except for the element that we're going to die cut here, are all from my card collection called Retro Mixtape. So you can find that on my website. We'll be talking about that in a little bit, but they all have very like an 80s vibe. Look, floppy disks and cassette tapes and little like jam back to my 80s vibe. I'm an 80s kid. It's kind of cool. So let's build the card first. We're going to start by building this one, and then I'm going to show you how easy it is to build this one using my printable file. So the first thing you're going to need is your cards. So all of us have either an A2 size or an 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper that you can cut in half. So here it is cut in half, and then they're folded in half, right? So that's basically, this is your A2 size card. Right? So simple. Now, or you may already have perforated cards. Both work just fine. And let me tell you how simple it is to make this card. So the first one you're going to do is you're going to take your first card. So either this is going to be the 8.5 by 4.25, or fold it in half and it's your A2 size card, whichever one you happen to have. And we're going to open up and we're going to call this our front flap. We are going to cut off 1.5 inches from our front flap right here. Just so right there. 1.5 inches. And that gives us a little bit of a shorter flap right here on the front to allow us to open up the second flap. So now you're going to get your second card and either 8.5, whatever. Now, the other way to do this, if you don't want to use a whole full card, the smash and, oh, thank you, Debbie. Smash that like button. Thank you. The second thing you can do is you can go in and you can just cut this to be the size of whatever square card you want to be. So for this particular card, my square card on top is a 4x4 square. So you don't have to do this particular cutting I'm going to show you. Instead, just cut it to be 8 inches long by 4 inches high and fold in half. Or if you already have a whole bunch of pre-cut cards, it just depends on what you have available for you. I'm going to cut this to be 4. Okay, so now I have a 4-inch, but this is 4 by 4.25. Be careful now not to cut where you already have it scored. Instead, put the score mark where your measurement is here, and then cut that. So now I have a square card. So it just depends on what you have available. And then if you want to keep this little flap for something else, you're more than welcome to do so. But now you have a little square card that goes on front, and you have your secondary cards. Let's move this guy out of the way. So these are the two elements we need, right? Now, you can completely put your card together like this, and you can see here's how it goes together. So easy, right? But I want to put a background paper on mine. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm actually going to stick these two things together. So just get your tape runner and place this. And when you place this, you want to place it so this edge is against this edge right here. Now you can place it up to the top, down at the bottom, but I'm going to put it right smack into the middle. There's a lot of ways that you can kind of tweak and amend your card to fit for whatever you like. There's a little schmutz on that. I have no idea what that is. And I need to clean my desk. It's all mucky. So here is the base of your card. So this is the front. You open the flap, and then you have your card on the inside. It's such a simple little thing that you can do just by adding two pieces together, and it makes life so fun when you're opening cards. Something about having more flaps to open and more things to kind of reveal. I don't know, it's just more fun. Something about it. So here is the original card, right? And so we're going to start putting some of the sheets together. So on this card, I am going to flip our papers around. So I had this paper on here, and this measures the white part. This white part is 2.5. So I went to 2.25. No, it's 2 3/4. So the width of this line of paper is 2.5. Looks like a lot. I've done this card a few different times. This is not a new card. It's just, you know, sometimes I'll bring back a card that I've done a few different times just because they're cool, they're fun. And I like the vibe of it. And sometimes I have an element I'm working with, I'm like, oh, that would be perfect for this card. And so that's where I go with it. So once you have this card base, take this. This is your pattern paper, whatever pattern paper. This is my retro floppy disk pattern paper. It's part of the card kit. You get a full 8.5 by 11 sheet of that. It's really sweet. Thank you. I had fun designing that. And if you want to put elements here and you want to put elements here, you totally can. But for this card, I'm leaving them blank because this is where you would do your writing. So you'd be able to jot your writing, and you have 2 different places you can do that. Instead of doing it right here, we're going to do it there. Now, instead of leaving this blank, we're going to put another fun pattern paper. So I really went for a whole 80s vibe. Can you tell? Lots of fun graphics that come from the 80s and some elements like cassette tapes and floppy disks. I just played around with it and then had fun playing with some of the colors that were from the 80s. Very 1980s here. So all I did is, if you tell, I just flipped the card prints around, right? So on here, this is one of the principles that you're going to get. I also give you 2 different sentiments that you can cut out. So let's go ahead and we're just going to use scissors. I mean, you could print this out if you wanted to, but we're just going to use scissors. And since I did You're My Greatest Mix on that one, we're going to do Have a Rockin' Birthday on this one. So you can either get your tape runner out or you can just cut it. And these are already cut to be on size for the next card we're going to do. And you actually can get 2 full cards out of this card kit because you get 2 front square elements, 2 sentiments, and 2 full sheets of paper. And that's plenty to make 2 full of this particular card. All you would need to do is get your white cardstock. And if you want to add some color, so here we go. And I think I'm going to trim a tiny bit off the bottom here. So it's a little amendable. You can actually make 2 full cards. So there you go. Now, with the kit that we're going to be playing to make our cassette, there is a stamp set in there. When I got the spec portions of this particular, when I got the die, I didn't get the stamp with it. They hadn't made it yet. So I'll show it to you in a minute. But here it is. There's my right. And you can put this up, down below. I'm going to put this, let's go a little bit lower. Why not? Place it wherever you want. It's your card. Have fun with it. So just place that right there. And there it is. Have a rockin' birthday. All right. Now, again, you can put elements on these spaces. You could definitely take one of the other elements and put that there if you wanted to, or if you have another stamp. But again, I'm leaving it blank because I want to be able to write in these spaces for whoever I'm giving this to, right? So You're My Greatest Mix could be like, I like you. I love, it's a fun card to give to somebody who, especially from the 80s. This definitely, even though it's kind of, I don't know, the colors scream a little bit more feminine in a way, I still think I could give this to my husband as like his birthday card, or like, you're my jam, like I love you kind of a card. This is definitely leaning more towards birthday. Okay, so now we're going to do the front, and I need to place my element here. So I have same card paper. I decided to use the same one, and there's no wrong way to orientate this particular paper. It goes in any which direction. It's just triangles and swirls and swirlies and all kinds of fun stuff. So, hey, everybody who's gotten on. I see Trisha and Debbie and Jen. Trying to see who else is here. Hello, hello, hello. I'll have to scroll up and see who else we got with us. Wendy, Carla, hello, 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 everybody. Okay, so now let's make our cassette tape. So I went through and I found pattern paper. I just found cardstock that matches with the colors that were in my pattern paper. So whatever pattern paper you like. And let me show you guys the die real fast. So when you get the die, this is from Maker's Movement, you get the full die sets. You could see the cassette things. This is the information that's on the back, is that little element. And then you also get the stamps down below. Now, again, I got these as spec and I didn't get the stamps. They hadn't made them in time. So I just got the dies. But you can see you got You and I Are the Perfect Mix, 80s Mix Volume 2, Birthday Party Mix, Weekend Mix Volume 1. And then you have an A side and a B side stamp, which I think is really stinking cute. So all that comes with this particular kit. I just did not happen to get it for me, but you would get it. And the links are all down below. You guys know I always put the links up. And I had the, I don't know where the heck it went. It's, oh, did it fly down here? Nope, I don't know where it went. It's okay. So I already have organized all of my other bits of my dies. So there's 2 large dies. And just to show you guys, sorry, things are hiding under paper under here. So you got 2 large dies. So I already die cut those. Then you get a lot of other little fun elements. You get stars, hearts, little music notes, a little lightning bolt. So you can kind of have fun with that. And then you also get, say hi, hello, hello. And then you also get all these elements. So I went ahead and pre-organized these all onto here. So you guys can kind of see they're all here. Okay, so here's the inside of the tape deck. So just to kind of show you all the elements. This circle here is the inside of the tape deck. This piece right here is the front side of the tape deck. This long piece right here is this piece that goes up there, and that moved a little too far over. So I'm going to shift it. This piece right here is what goes down there. And then the star, I decided that I wanted to have stars on either side, but you could kind of play around with whatever part. That's where you'd stick your pencil if the tape came undone. You guys remember that? Anybody here old enough to remember playing on cassette tapes? Am I alone? Am I ancient? I think I still have some cassette tapes, but they're fun. So I die cut everything at one time. And now it's just a matter of popping all the bits out. Oh, there it is. I'm like, where'd it go? It's hiding. And then I have my stars. And this time I'm actually going to keep, I only need to keep 1 star. So I did 2 sheets of paper on this when I die cut that out. Here's a singleton. So I just did this to show you that you could line up a whole bunch of stuff at one time, and then building it is really fun as well. And then you have your 2 circles right there. Let me get all this out of the way because we're done with that. Okay, so now it's about putting it all together. So let's pull, there's 2 in here. Let's pull these apart. Do you guys remember destroying a few cassettes in your time? Oh yeah, and trying to like roll them all up. It's so fun. 6-year-old artistic son, and I can't wait to do our first, oh yay! So I will have to say my card swap, oh I only have one there. I keep trying to pull that apart. The other one was stuck. My card swap for Halloween and autumn is done. The video with all the different cards is coming up super soon. I got a little delayed because I was waiting on one more card to come in, but everything is in now, so we are good. And then the Christmas card swap is coming up right around the corner. But my daughter, and I believe her friend, she hasn't given me the cards yet, are going to be part of my card swap. So yes, kids are totally welcome to join in the card swaps if they are so inclined. Just make sure they're A2 size cards. Okay. Days will never understand the pencil rewind cassette when stuck. Oh yes, it's so much fun. I remember using the pen. It's a thing to rewind your cassette tapes with a pencil. Now, my oldest son, he had a CD player boombox that had a cassette in it. And there was a cassette. Did you do it too, Brandon? Did you have it? What was the song that was on there that you liked? Was it like a dinosaur song or something? It was like a kid's tape and it had dinosaurs. So I'm just running all of these little bits through my sticker maker to turn them into stickers. And so I would play it at night and, why ruin a broken wheel when you already have it? We still have a VCR upstairs because we have a ton of VCR movies, which we still use and it still functions. So why would we get rid of it? There's a lot of movies that are not up on anywhere else. So I'm like, we're just going to do that. So if you can tell, I'm running all these little bits through here. This is great for all these little small bits. This is a sticker maker. This is the 3-incher, but there's also a 1.5. And you just pull it through. I'm going to go this way with it. Tear it and then rub, rub, rub. And again, all the links for the supplies I have are down in the bottom. Just got rid of your collection as well as your 4 MP5 records. Oh my goodness. Something about the nostalgia of those. Now, this is the coolest thing. I'm going to switch the camera for a second. You know what? As I was looking up some ideas and getting some fun stuff, sorry, I just hit my mic. I was noticing that people were taking cassette tapes and they could be from whatever. And then they were using them as the base for their art. I thought that was the coolest thing ever. So they would gesso over them and then paint little scenes on top of the cassette tapes because it's a small little piece of art that you can create. I just thought that was the coolest thing. So there you go. It's a little fun. Hi, from Indiana. Welcome, welcome. Okay, I'm trying to find my corner. Here we go. It's okay. We're just getting started. So welcome. So I'm pulling that off. Now it's time to build my cassette tape. Now, the best part is, and I'm trying to find where my sheet went. It has, oh, here it is. If you decide that you want to get this die, on the back side, it gives you an example of how to put the whole thing together. Hi, Tammy. Hi, Mercy. So here we have, hi, Carolyn. So here we have an example. So you can see how all the little bits go together. So you're not going, oh, well, what is this part for? What is that part for? It's given to you on the back side. So you're not like, holy crap, what am I doing here? Where does this go? Now, when I did my sample, I found the easiest thing to do is start with this piece right here. Okay, and all these cardstocks, truly, they're just a mix mash from my stash. I have some of these are close to my heart. Some of this was basil. Some of this just came from, I opened up my cardstock stash and just grabbed what I wanted to. So doing little die cut piece cards like this is great for kind of bashing your stash, which I know a lot of you guys are into that. Sorry. I'm pulling it off because I want to align it better. I'm weird like that. You got a little bit of time to groove before you have to put it together. All right. I think that's pretty well in line. I can't pull it on and off too many. It's a little, it's going to bug me. Okay. I got a little bit more time. Do you guys do this? You're like, oh, fudgers. You got to get it. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do it across this way. There we go. So just, you got a little time to groove like, now I'm crooked. I'm talking too much and not paying attention. I did the first one, the other one, totally fine. No, I'm still off. Urgh. It's because it's not a normal set. There we go. Now I got it. There. Okay. I feel better about that now. Am I alone in doing that? Am I alone in how to put it all together? Somehow I don't think I am. Okay, next we're going to do the strip at the top. And for those of you who had made your own mixtapes, either you did one of two things. You hand wrote on your mixtape or you got like one of those little label makers. So I went back to the fact like I was treating this like a cassette tape, like it was my own mixtape I made, and I would have handwritten on it. So I would have done the exact same thing that I'd done. My own handwriting and doodled on it. And seriously, how many of you made a mixtape for yourself or for a loved one? My husband and I joke about the fact because we're high school sweethearts. We've been knowing each other for a long, long time. And so when we were dating, we still had, back in high school, it was in the 90s, but cassette tapes were still a thing. You know, there were the CDs were around, but cassette tapes were still a thing. So what I did, if you just noticed, I took the two black circles, put it behind the white element. And that's how you get this is the tape part that's in there that usually came out in the bottom and you had to twist it back up with a pencil. So if you stick it on the bottom and then put the whole thing down, it makes life really easy to put it all together. And then these little guys are right here because that's how you wound it up if it came undone. So there was one tape that he had, and it had Pearl Jam, and it had like Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band. I was putting this little star. I just figured, like, it said A side, B side, and I had the stars left from that. I thought it'd be kind of cute to stick it right there. And I still remember, little side note here, I still remember a portion of one of the Pearl Jam songs where it cut from one side. So he couldn't finish the song because I think he was dubbing it from a friend. So he dubbed the tape from the original one or from a CD to a tape to make his own tape to play in the car. And the song didn't finish. And so whenever I hear the radio or whenever I hear that song somewhere else where it's playing, I still can remember where the tape cut, because we played that thing so much, that mixtape so many times. And so I joke about it this time. And I'm like, where in the world is that tape? Because it's got to be somewhere. It's got to be in some drawer left. I don't think we threw it away, but it was an awesome mixtape. It had Pearl Jam. It had Jimi Hendrix. It had the Beatles. It had Cream. So it was a few other songs in there, but those are the main ones that I remember being on there. It was a good tape. We really enjoyed it. And do you guys remember also, okay, hang on. You guys remember also sitting in front of like the stereo and you'd have the tape deck in there and you'd wait for your favorite song to come on the radio. And then you quickly go, record, and then you'd get it from the radio. I remember doing that too. So that's what I totally remember doing that. I absolutely remember waiting by the stereo tape my favorite song. Yes. So this is like only people that lived in the 80s understood this. Okay. So I have just a black pen and I'm going to practice. So what was something that you would say on a mixed tape? Let's see. So I have You're My Jam. I'm trying to think of something of, I remember when the song skips on your foot. Yeah, it would go around and around. So give me some ideas. I'm going to come back to this, to writing on this while we're filling this out, but give me some ideas that what you would write at the top of your mixtape. So if you were going to write this and this is going to be your mixtape, now keep in mind, this is a card. Who would you give it to? What would be some suggestions? I want to see what you like. I always do the be kind to rewind thing, but all right. So I'm going to do a little bit of a mat of white cardstock, which I have some white scraps around here somewhere. I don't know, maybe not. Let's just see how it looks on the blue. See, I did a little hint of a white on this one, but I don't think I need it on this one. I think I'm good. You spin me right round. Oh, I love it. Oh, you're my favorite song. Okay, I'm going to keep waiting because you guys have some good ones. I'm going to keep waiting. You spin me right round. Oh, that really gives me back to the, oh, what was the name of that band? That was like Flock of Seagulls, right? Or something like that. That did me the, you spin me right round, baby, right round. Like a record, baby. See, kids don't get that. Definitely remember the skip spot. Yep. Can you get, like, you remember songs that you heard over and over and over that you remember. So I'm going to come back to that. We got a couple of you're my favorite song. You spin me right round. I love that. So lots of great ones here. All right. So this is using the die set from, hang on, let me pull it up. This is from Maker's Movement. You can see all the dies to make the mixtape. And then I didn't get the stamps, but you would get the stamps. Sorry, that's the dog that come with this particular stamp set. I put a link. You can get it over at Maker's Movement. And it was also at Simon Says Stamp, but it was said currently out of stock, at least last I checked a couple of days ago. So it might be available, might not. Okay. Now we are going to play with my retro mixtape. So when I got this die set, I'm like, I have to make papers to go with it. I can't just do, sorry, my dog is having a conniption over there, like scratching his ear. So I made this going with the vibe of like the 80s, early 90s kind of colors. I made a couple of square cards. So on this, you're going to get 2 square cards. You get 2 labels and you get 2 full sheets of 8.5 by 11 paper. It's an all-in-one kit. They're all in PDFs. All you have to do is print it, cut it to make your cards. It's available in my store right now, erinreedmakes.com. Okay, so oh, thank you, Debbie. Okay, so what are we going to do? So this is the card I made as my sample, and it says, you're a classic. I love it. So you can have a lot of fun with what to play with in the top there. And then open it up, and you have a rockin' birthday. So again, let's make this sample. Let me show you guys how to make this card again. So if you already have an 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper, cut it in half. Boom. You're going to want to fold it in half. And the easiest thing to do to make this, decide what you want to have as your front flap. So this is my front flap. And we are going to trim 1.5 inches off right here. Boom. And that gives you the first part of your fun fold, right? So this does use more paper than a traditional card, but I still think they're fun. You already have your other sheet of paper. We're going to make this card a little bit smaller. So if you're looking at the 2 sizes of the front flaps, this is a 3 by 3. We're going to make this one a 3.5 by 3.5. Let me double check. Yeah, 3.5. So this is going to be a 3.5 by 3.5 square. You can make this square that goes on top any size you want. You could even, just to show you, just really quick, I'm going to do this first. I just took my card. This is like the folded in half. Fold it in half, and I'm going to go ahead and just cut it while it's folded in half. So what if you don't want to make a square card? You could make this a rectangular card. Maybe there's all those really cool cut files that come on those papers, or you have a stamp that doesn't quite fit a square. You could make this a rectangle, see, like that. And if you want to make it a little bit smaller of a rectangle, you totally can. It does not have to be a square. That's the beautiful part about this. But I am going to make mine a square. So I'm going to, since I have this folded in half, I'm going to fold it. Do not cut on the fold, cut on the open part. So put the fold where you want, how your length of it. So I want this to be 3.5. And there's my 3.5 square. Now, if you want to cut this and then score it, or just fold in half, you're going to go 3.5 and then double it. So 3.5 and 3.5 would be 7 inches if you want to do it that way. It just depends. If you want to do a 3.25 inch square, you want to do a 2-inch square. It just depends on what you want. Your card, you make the choices. There we go. Motown, got nothing on you. Oh gosh, I'm loving this. You're the best. Okay, I got to put you guys are coming up with some really great ones. Let me put them up here. So here we go. You're my favorite song so far. I love that one. You spin me right round. All right. Okay. I play your song always. Love songs. That's a good one. Here we go. Let's see what it goes. Da, da, da. Here we go. You're the best Billboard charts. Oh, you're top of the charts. You could do that one too. Motown got nothing on you. I love these. You guys are so good. I'm thinking I'm going with the spin round, something about that, because it reminds me of the song. Okay, so then now you have your two elements, again, your main card. And if you want to cut this to be a little bit wider, a little bit narrower, this is totally up to you as well. You can make this whatever you like. So I cut 1.5, so this is 2 3/4, but it's your card. Make it how you want. Then I'm going to put adhesive on the back of this right here. Boom. And take the folded part and align this against the edge. Now, if you want to go higher, go higher. You want to go lower, go lower. I'm going to go smack in the middle. But again, your card, have fun with it. So there it is. So now here is the base of the square front fun fold card. So easy, right? Then you take your pattern paper, whatever pattern paper, it could be a solid cardstock, and you want to place this on top to get rid of the look so you don't see that you've got two cards stuck together. And again, you don't have to do this in white. You could do this in any color you want. But because I had lots of really bold pattern papers that I made to go with this, I went with just a white base cardstock for fun. So this is my very late 80s. We're not doing early 80s. We're doing late 80s, early 90s. So when I was in my middle school years, early middle school, something like that. I'm aging myself right now. So put your element here, and I'm going to go back to, where is it? Here we go. So when you get your printable, you're going to get two elements that you can cut out. So we're going to cut this guy out right now, and it's going to be our sentiment for the inside. You could also do a stamp sentiment, but this comes with the card kit. So you get the 2 sheets of paper, you get the 2 squares, and you get 2 labels or 2 sentiments. It already have a background paper for you that matches perfectly with all of the colors on there. So if you notice, I'm not doing anything other than white and maybe a little bit of black cardstock, and that's it. So you don't have to worry about getting out other pattern papers if you don't want to, and then just stick that on there. You're my greatest mix. There we go. And then again, if you want to write on these portions of the paper, you totally can, or you can leave them blank. Totally up to you. I'm going to leave them blank because that's where you could write something. People always ask me on fun fold cards, especially when I fill up all the elements, well, where do you write your sentiments? So if you leave panels empty, that's where you write. But if you decided to fill them all up, guess what? You have the entire backside that you can fill in if you want to. Okay, so now we're going to fold that back, and I cut out another sheet of this really pretty cardstock that I made. I'm proud of my retro 80s mix. It was fun. It was like, okay, what elements do I remember? Truly, you know, kind of what I did is I went back to the vibe of what would be on Saved by the Bell, and like what were some of the graphics and things that were in the intro or just kind of on the clothing. And that was kind of where I was pulling my inspiration from, was very Saved by the Bell-ish, which is more early 90s than it is 80s, but you get the idea. And then we have that. Now this one, actually, I am going to pull out a little bit of black cardstock. I felt like it just needed a little pop. So the card itself is 3 by 3. This card right here is 3.5 by 3.5. So the black matte card is 3.25 by 3.25. I just felt like it just popped a little bit better because it gave more of a distinction between the background cards. And I felt like there was lots of big, bold black elements in the 80s as well. So, and I didn't go neon. I went with more of the pastels. So this one, You and I Are the Perfect Mix. And then you open it up and it says, You're my greatest mix on the inside. And this one says, You Are Classic. And then the paper pack that we have here has got floppy disks and kind of like, you know, lightning bolts and just very big graphics. And this is Have a Rockin' Birthday. So this is the 2 cards you can make. You have everything you need except for the white paper and the black cardstock to make both of these cards, and probably a little bit of extra paper left over. So pretty cute stuff right there. And you could also just do regular cards. You don't have to do the fun fold. And then taking kind of the same element, we've also done these 2 cards, and this is using the Stamp and Die set from Maker's Movement, which is right here. So this is the Maker's Movement. You get the stamps, you get all the beautiful dies that are part of it, and that's the die to make the cassette tape, which I think is so cute. You get that over at Maker's Movement. And the card kit from myself is right here. You get the 2 pattern papers, and then you also get the 2 square cards and the 2 like sentiment tags that are on there. All right, so I'm going to go with You Spin Me, or what was it? What was it called? You Spin Me Round. Is that what it was? I feel like they did it in my 20s, but then I look in the mirror and you know what? I do too. I'm like, I still feel like I'm this old until I do something that is physical. And then I'm like, oh, there goes I'm tired. I'm scrolling up to find the sentiment because I'm trying to remember. Hey, Amy, how you doing? All right, so where to go? I'm trying to find it. There it is. So we're going to go with You Spin Me Right Round. So I'm going to do a practice run right here. So I think that will fit. All right. And do it in your own writing. There's something about putting your own writing on cards, even though we like to go with stamps. Something about the fact that this is a cassette tape really screams to me, I needed to handwrite it versus stamp it. Now, maybe that's not your thing. Maybe it's not your jam. Let's get some 80s phrases in there. So I got to add some little stars. You know, I always doodled on whenever mixtape I had. So there we go. Look how fun. They're cool, right? I don't know. I had fun. As soon as I saw that like 80s, like just the cassette tape, something about being retro and just kind of pulling back some vibes of what we used to have. They're just cool. And you can do these in any color you want. I mean, cassette tapes came in so many different colors. The ones that we played for my kids, sorry, I just hit my mic again. It was like a light blue cassette tape. I mean, can you guys remember? Most of them were black, I will have to say, but there was so many colors. There was white cassette tapes, and you can play around with that. Obviously, this is whatever you want to. It's a fun little size. It would even fit on your card if you wanted to do your card like where it goes like this, or if you wanted to flip your card so it opened like that. Play around with that. And again, all the supply links are down in the information section. They're really, really cute. Put a thin ribbon hanging out like it's a stretch out. Oh yeah, you could. Yes, you could. You could totally put like a little ribbon down here, like it's been spooled out. See, you guys are so amazing. You have lots of fun ideas. I love it. And if you guys are ever wanting to send me like your pictures, tag me. I'm Erin Reed Makes on Instagram and Facebook. So if I ever inspire you to make any cards, or you're like, oh, that was such a fun one, or if you're using my products, or just, like I got inspired by an idea from you, tag me. I'd love to see your ideas. So just at Erin Reed Makes, and I'd love to see what you guys make. So thank you guys so much. This Friday, I am back. We took a little hiatus over the summer for just because it's summer. But I'm back with the Erin Makes With, and we have Xyron and we have some giveaways. So make sure you stay tuned for Friday at noon Central. We were going live with Xyron. We have Taylor Conway, and she is one of the product managers over at Xyron, and we're going to talk about some of the new products they have and also some fun giveaways. So hope to see you guys there on Friday. Ton of fun. As always, card making every Wednesday. We're about to get back into school. I got to find a new time. But for right now, 2 p.m. Central is going to be our magic time for card making until school gets in, and then it might go back to noon. We'll have to see. Anyway, have an amazing day. Have fun. Don't forget to stay safe and just create. Bye, everybody.